Next to a roof, an exhaust is likely the #2 thing people install on their side-by-sides after they get it. So we're here with Jared Heshka from MBRP to talk about exhaust in general and some new offerings from MBRP.
Cool, Luke. Well, appreciate you guys having me here. Today, obviously, we have the Polaris RS1 here. I'm really excited about the systems we developed for this, and I'm looking forward to kind of chatting about them.
What would you say are the biggest benefits a user can gain from installing an aftermarket exhaust on their side-by-side?
So a couple different things you're going to see. Obviously a bit of a performance gain for sure, by just a bolt-on product. And two, a nice throaty sound too. It'll be a much better sound note than the OEM note, but it's something you can ride all day long with.
And I've got to think that there's also a bit of a weight savings when you're installing aftermarket exhaust and taking all the brackets and junk off and putting something more sleek on. That might not be a universal truth, but in general, that's pretty true.
In general, for sure. Yeah, there definitely is a weight savings for sure when changing out the system.
As an expert in exhausts, what should a buyer be looking for? What are the key things that they need to look for specifically when they're buying this product?
There's certainly factors here for sure you want to key in on when buying an exhaust. Material like stainless steel, how it's put together, whether they use spring and a slip joint or bevel style clamps to hold the Y pipe to the muffler bodies, whether it's a straight through core design or it has a baffle inside as well. This will allow you to whether you need a programmer or not to run it. So you always want to look for how easy it is to one, install it, and two, make it work for you. When you have the unit in the garage, to pull off the stock, when you basically take off the stock heat shield, of course the stock muffler, but that really involves 2 bolts, 2 springs, and a couple of the other the little nuts to pull off the stock heat shield. But it's very, very straightforward. We're taking the stock unit off. You basically pull out the stock O2 bung and make sure you actually disconnect that first, and that threads right into this system.
So we got the stock exhaust off, as you can see, and it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Now we're going to install our new MBRP exhaust, and we've got the Sport over here and the Performance here. Which one are we going to use and why?
Definitely are both great options, obviously Sport versus Performance, but the Performance is definitely my go-to. It's got that signature MBRP nameplate on it, as well as the nice dual look as well too, so it really complements the rear look of the unit. So this system here, definitely kind of an easy bolt-on system. And the cool thing is, it's actually kind of how it comes in the box. So, anybody with common hand tools can easily install this type of system, in under, 15 minutes kind of thing, as you'll see that we put it on as well.
You're buying a product like this to bolt to your side-by-side, there's got to be things that you want to steer clear of. What might those be?
Exhausts are kind of designed for the most part to be able to install in your garage. One that takes a bit of time to install and requires tuning and stuff like that. For the average guy, that's tough to use unless you're really a big gearhead. Spark arresters, you want to make sure the system has something like that. Again, if you're trail riding or out in kind of public areas for sure. So.
And when it comes to materials, is there any specific material for a side-by-side that you want to steer clear of, or something you should be looking for most?
Looking for most would be definitely stainless or something, a high quality material. When you're using these machines in mud or the dunes or something like that, these are pretty harsh environments. So you want an exhaust that's going to last. Mud or anything like that sticks to the unit. So you want to make sure the materials are going to hold up for a long time.
Tell us about the systems you brought us today.
Cool. Well, MBRP, we brought in 2 systems, one being our dual system, which we installed today, and the other one was our sport system, which is kind of a more oval design. Kind of to key in on those a little bit, the oval design, a nice deeper tone. It's kind of a good to lower your EGTs, and you can still put your stock shroud back on. The real kind of gravy train, I like to call it, is the dual systems. It looks awesome. Kind of gives the unit a really nice look to the back end as well. So it really kind of complements the overall style of it as well.
And this one actually says, "I'm awesome."
Pretty much.
Yeah, to the ladies.
Yeah, it screams kind of, basically coolness.
But what are some of the key features of this exhaust in particular?
Cool. Well, this one in particular, we have obviously 304 stainless body. So the real nice thing about it is a good material, kind of like we talked about what you should look for in purchasing an exhaust. Where kind of we come in is that we actually have an internal baffle built into each one of the exhausts. So this does 2 things. One, it keeps your sound at a respectable level, and 2, enough back pressure so you don't have to run a programmer on it.
Perfect.
So the real nice thing, bolt it on and you can go ride. You don't have to do anything crazy like tune it or program it.
And not spend any more extra money. You buy this, you put it on, you're done.
Basically.
Thanks so much for coming out, Jared, and bringing us a cool exhaust, showing us how to install it, showing me how to install it, and teaching us a little bit more about exhaust. I think it's an important thing to understand the products that you're buying. You buy a product, you need to know why you're buying it and the benefits it's going to give you. Otherwise, you don't know what you're getting. So having this information is really useful, and certainly it's no denying that this thing is sexy when it's installed.
Absolutely. Well, definitely kind of appreciate you guys having me here and kind of walking through how to install it, and we'll see you next time.